Uh-oh. I gotta log in again. I could be in trouble.
It's so funny. I recognize so many people, but I don't know them.
Well, I need to go over here and talk to.
I went and talked to Rod.
Yeah, well, let's go over here and talk to these folks real quick. Yes.
Where are they? I didn't see them.
A lot of energy here tonight.
Yeah. This is a big event, isn't it?
Yes.
All the changes and moving people around.
I said this will be. So this is home teaching and visiting teaching on steroids.
That's right.
I just can't imagine how it is to do
Yeah.
a district every year like that.
Yeah, amazing. I don't have mine. I'm gonna just shut this baby off. I can't read this. Okay.
If he gives rocks,
I'm good. I'll just.
nice thing.
It's just real good.
They're just easy
Okay.
And I just tell them, don't put it in this box. Box for it, but don't put it in. Show it on. You deserve it.
Yeah, this is supposed to go on your fireplace mantle, not back in the box.
Yeah. Show it off.
So if Robert was here, we'd just be.
Yep.
Oh, yes, I better.
We'd like to welcome everyone to please come in and take a seat if you would, so we can get started. We're close here. You didn't have to be quiet. You just had to take a seat.
Okay, did you get this thing on the scam?
Got it? We welcome you all out to our board meeting this evening. It's always fun to have family of our teaching staff and administrative staff here for recognitions. We appreciate you being here. Our agenda is posted on each side and in front of the room. And we would like to start with a presentation, a monologue by Hannah Spear, student at Fremont High School, and she will announce her monologue. And then when she is finished, she will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Hannah. Is Hannah here? Yeah, we're still 45 seconds early. Well, we're going to get a little business taken care of then prior to that, if that's okay, board. The consent calendar okay. I will lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Did you say you were gonna stop?
It looks like there's a traffic issue that she may be involved in, so Bill Grill's just volunteered. No.
To sing and dance.
Who has to volunteer? Oh.
Board, have you reviewed the consent calendar? If so, do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar? Moved. Seconded by Dean. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Robert, we will excuse Robert Peterson, our business manager, this evening. And with pushing the agenda forward now, we will start with recognition. We'll turn the time over to Kevin Cederholm. Kevin?
Superintendent, Board, it's a pleasure to announce our 2017 Classified Employee of the Year to Alicia Johnson Coates. If you will come up here, Alicia. I got to tell you, this is definitely, I don't know my duties real well yet, but this was one of the funnest opportunities that we had, was to come out and give this award to Alicia. Let me tell you a little bit about Alicia. She's officially the ESL aide and testing aide, but when you start listening to all of the different things that she does, it really doesn't really describe what she does. She does so much more than that. And in fact, from working in HR and looking at job descriptions a lot, what she does is so much more than any job description I've probably ever seen. You go to the next slide. So I want to tell you just a few things that she does. She is the ESL aide, testing aide, end of the day office aide, webmaster, audiovisual creative supervisor, assembly tech support, assembly MC stand-in, self-appointed, and I like this one, self-appointed faculty and staff morale officer, potluck coordinator. And besides that, with service, she's been on the VEX IQ support team, the community council president, PTA volunteer, and boundary committee member. It was really interesting because I was able to go out and interview some of the employees out at Canesville. And I started with the head secretary, and that's her behind her with the balloons, because anybody knows that you go to those that run the school, and the head secretary runs the school for the most part. And Melanie Bateman said, and it's funny because all three of them that I interviewed, all three employees said the same, and I interviewed more than that, but the three that I wrote down, their first words were the same word that came out of their mouths, and that was amazing. They all said it. They all started with amazing. Said there is not one situation that she cannot handle. She has had an impact on everything that she does. Brenda Grange said, amazing. Involved with everyone, so good with the SL, she's their mom, always busy doing good. Lori Dutry, another teacher, said always making everyone laugh. Now I know that's true, and I'll kind of tell you a little bit about our day when we went out there. She's a good friend. The kids in her class are always asking her, do we get to go with Mrs. Coates today? What I want to do is I want you to look at the picture where the superintendent was giving her award. And when I say fun, it just kind of tells you a little bit about what type of person Alicia is. She's getting the award from superintendent, and she's in tears, and she's very humble. And then 10 seconds later, we go to the next slide. She says, everybody gather in. She grabs her camera, grabs her iPhone, and says, this is a selfie. I'm going to send it to my husband. And their words were, "This is how I roll." And what a fun, it was so fun to talk to everybody, because you started to see what a great person that Alicia is for our schools. And I think her principal summed it up best. She's great for our school. She's great for the community. Great for Weber School District. She's great for kids. And the best thing is, she wants to, and she's going through the work now to be a teacher. And I have an early contract I want to talk to you about after this is over. So if you would, Alicia, would you introduce those who are here with you? And
absolutely. I'm Alicia Coates. And I have lots here with me, but my family's first, my husband. So we'll just ignore that he has a Northridge shirt on. And then my daughter, Tyra, and my boys, Dante and Dominic, and my parents that are awesome right here, Levi and Beth. But the best part about it is I have so many people with me. I have Scott here, who was a principal of mine. Justin, who is my principal now and is fabulous. I have all my teachers back there. And I know Susan's in here. I mean, and Melanie, who is the best, right? So, thank you. It's been an amazing thing. So, thank you.
so, Board Superintendent, I'd like to present this award to you and a little gift that goes along with that, and invite you to get your picture taken and go through.
Did Hannah show up yet? Okay. We will move on to our Weber School District Teacher of the Year 2017, presented by Jane Ann Kimmeyer. Jane Ann?
Superintendent and Board of Education, it is with great pleasure I introduce our Teacher of the Year, Ms. Laura Munn. Laura, would you come join me? And I've been looking all over. There she is. Come on up, Laura. Alrighty, this is, she's going to draw a motion for me, but as I talk about this wonderful, wonderful dedicated teacher, and so as you will find out as I speak about her, how deserving she is of this recognition. 23 years ago, Laura graduated from BYU, but while she was there, she was studying elementary education and early childhood. She was ready to graduate, and while she was out in the schools, she changed her mind and she said, I want to work with special needs kids. So she went, or continued on, and got her degree in educational psychology with an emphasis in special education. So she comes with lots of wonderful background. And that's where Weber School District got lucky, because she chose to have an interview with Dr. Ann Miller, who was our special ed director at the time. And in an interview with Dr. Miller, you remember talking about educational philosophy. What's your philosophy is a typical question, and she was telling her. And then Dr. Miller said, just bluntly, "What kind of students do you like to work with?" And her response was, she remembers this response. What was it?
The tougher the better, the more I love them.
Could we go to the next slide, please? So, yes, she said the tougher, the better, the more I love them. And I think that just speaks to her. And guess what Ann Miller's response was back? Ann was a wise woman. It still is a wise woman. But she said, "Do I have a job for you?" And she assigned her to be the behavior specialist, a behavior classroom teacher. And she first began at North Ogden Elementary and now is at Canyon View Elementary. And for 23 years has been a behavior classroom teacher. That's a long time in a very challenging job. And I just think that is so amazing. In fact, a lot of people have asked you about that over time, haven't they? A lot of people have asked her, "How do you do that? Why do you do that? Why have you done that for so long?" And I love this beautiful response, and I got to read it to you, but I got to put on my glasses. Sorry. Okay. So this wonderful teacher has said to people, "When I teach them on a daily basis, I often think how lucky I am to walk among these angels. I feel as though I am indeed blessed." This woman epitomizes what it is to love children and to have a beautiful relationship with her students. And she has always said that success doesn't come in leaps and bounds. Sometimes it comes in thimble sizes. So again, what a wonderful teacher she is. Let's go to the next slide, please. You know, a lot of research is behind the word relationships, and the kinds of relationships that we have with students has a very good effect size. If you wanted to see what that research looks like in practice, you go visit Laura's class, because she cares desperately for every one of her children, and they respect her. They have this wonderful relationship. Some of the things that her students said about her, and we just loved some of these things that they said. She is so kind to us every day. She helps us with our life experiences. She tells us stories to help us understand math. She's our advocate. And let me tell you a little bit more about that. And that was a student that was going to change classrooms because Laura had helped him. She calls our parents. Now, sometimes those aren't always positive phone calls, but she calls our parents and tells them the good things we are doing. And the last one that I love this, because I'd run back into the classroom to tell Laura, make sure that she knew about tonight, make sure that, and I said, "You'll be representing Weber School District at the state." And one of the students said, "You're not going somewhere." And we had to assure that child. And then they said, "She's the best teacher I've ever had." And I thought that was so wonderful. One of the other things, a couple of things that we've had some people respond to, Kim Brady, a special ed counselor at Canyon View, wrote about one of the things that you do each spring. And it's really a fabulous thing that she does. She says, every year, Laura transforms these same children into singing, dancing performers at the end of the year musical that she creates, choreographs, directs, and simultaneously plays the piano in the background. She said this musical is done with 8 to 10 elementary age boys and girls. It's a miracle that she performs, that she has these kids come up with. She showcases their potential in each of these children that the rest of the world might not discern. And every one of them walks away a shining star. And they have a nice little shining trophy to help them recognize. This also causes everyone that is there to be in tears because of how wonderful these students feel about themselves being those shiny stars at the end of the day. Let me tell you, this woman, I went and watched her teach a social skills class, and she made sure every student had the opportunity to respond and feel important and to learn in that lesson. And I just think that she is so wonderful. She loves each student. She is passionate about student success. She is their advocate. She is the one that can make a difference in their lives. Board, it is with great pleasure I present to you Laura Munn, the Weber School District Teacher of the Year.
Always cry. These guys heard me through my whole interview. I cried. Okay, so I'll introduce my family. I have my mom and dad, Gerald and Virginia Robinson. My mom was a teacher for 36 years, so I hope I can take after her because she was an amazing teacher. My daughter, she's rocking my granddaughter right there, and she's an attorney at law. She's amazing, and her husband, good-looking guy back there. John, raise your hand. There's John. That's my son-in-law. My oldest son is taking an exam, a final down at University of Utah. He's studying. He wants to be a doctor, and so he's down there right now. I have my son Carter. Raise your hand. He's 16. He's at Weber High, and then Jefferson, my youngest. He's at Orion Junior High, and they're great students. And I'm so proud to have my family here. So, and I want to thank everybody for the opportunity. And Raina Jones, thank you for nominating me. I found out it was you. And Kim Brady and Jennifer Warren, thank you for the letters of recommendation. I love my principal, Jennifer Warren, right there. She's amazing. And our assistant principal, who is Nicole Warren Doman. No, by the way, no relation. And and then, of course, our fantastic director of special education, Lori Jo Rasmussen. We love that lady. I mean, I've never seen anybody. There's the advocate for the kids right there. There she is right there. She's amazing. And all of our coordinators, they're fantastic. Those are our bridges to these kids and to the regular schools. And thank you so much, all of you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. A round of applause. Did our student show up yet? Did Hannah show up yet? Okay, so we will move on. Turn the time back to Jane Ann Kameyer for approval of curriculum and resource materials.
Excuse those that were here if they would like to leave from the two recognitions. You're welcome. You're welcome to stay. Welcome to go if you'd like. I'll stand up right now. Board, it is
another exciting night for us here in the curriculum department. We've gone several years, a long period of time, without a textbook adoption. And it is with such excitement that we begin that cycle again, because we've had great need for that. That we have got some subject areas, such as elementary math, that when they adopted the last program, it was under a different core. And so we've had a great need out there. And so we're so excited and appreciative of you restoring the textbook funding source. And we just kind of wanted to go through the process that takes place as we adopt materials. And keep in mind that we're looking at these as resources because those resources come in so many different packages nowadays. It's fabulous. So the first thing that we do is to form a committee of teachers, of administrators, and of parents on that committee. And we'd like each school to be represented so that they can take back information to their schools and get feedback and participate along the whole process. And then, of course, we send out the RFP, which is that request for proposals. And that's certainly a part of our legal obligation to have that. And actually, our process looks a little bit different than other districts, and you'll see what that one difference is as we come to it. The next step that kind of takes place is the committee begins to form, and they come together on one of those first times, and they develop a rubric. And that rubric helps them in scoring all of the many different publisher pieces of information and materials that come in. We also have an obligation, because so many of our publishers nowadays have a digital resource. We also check with our technology department to make sure that it is going to be compatible with our requirements and processes as well. Then we take several months, and this committee will meet over several times and look at materials multiple times, take them back to classrooms, teach with them, share them with their partners, and through a period of time, we begin that gradual raising of the top to those pieces that we want to look at. And then the final decision that comes down is that our committee makes the final decision. It's not something that we as the curriculum department just say, we want that one. That's not what happens. The committee makes the decision, and we just guide them through the process of making that decision. And then, of course, after that final decision is made of what the best resource that meets our district needs is, and then, of course, we come to you, like tonight, and shares this information with you, and we will ask for your approval of purchase in a few minutes. And then, of course, once we've adopted those resources, once we've got materials in our hand, we begin a long process of professional development so that our teachers are well informed on their new materials. That's kind of the process that we go through as we adopt new resources. And we've been going through 3 different program adoptions this year, which is really quite amazing for 1 year's time. So I'm going to have Sherry talk about the elementary math one, and then Becky's going to speak about the secondary English language arts and our English language learners program. So there's 3 different ones. Sherry.
Superintendent and board, we are absolutely thrilled to be able to come before you tonight. Our elementary math teachers, K-6, have been kind of limping along for about the past 6 years with curriculum materials that didn't necessarily fit the new core. They've done a wonderful job, but we're at that point now that we can really move our students forward. Just last Wednesday, our teachers came together. We had a committee of over 40 people, teachers, parents, administrators together, who came together and evaluated 3 programs really seriously. There were 6 to begin with. Did a fabulous job. Overwhelmingly, they decided to recommend to you that we adopt the Engage New York materials for our K-6 math adoption. This program was #1 in their evaluation in rigor, coherence, and the usability of the program. So they were thrilled with it. The other thing that was really nice about this program is there's a very deliberate progression from the concrete to the pictorial to the abstract representation. So we're not starting kids out with algorithms. We're teaching them what the math is really doing, which I think is a fabulous move. The structure of the program is very engaging for our students and teaches them to be real-world problem solvers, which is where we want them to be. It's the whole focus of the new core. The strong blend is there of both procedural fluency and that rich, deep conceptual understanding that students need, a balance of that to be successful in the future. And this program has that. We are thrilled that this program also has wonderful supports for our teachers, our students, and our parents all together. So everybody will have that support that they need to be successful. And we are incredibly lucky to have Jennifer Boyer Thurgood join our department. She will be providing some teacher training this summer that will knock your socks off. I mean, it'll be beyond compare. All of our students are included in this process. The structure of this program is great for our English language learners, our dual language immersion schools, our special ed kids, our regular ed kids, and our high achieving kids. So it's a broad-based program that's really nice. In fact, over 57% of teachers nationwide are either using Engage New York fully or in part. And we've just seen some really nice gains in student learning and growth. So we really appreciate this opportunity. You might think it's strange that we are going to print our own materials. Engage New York is actually a free resource. The cost that you're seeing is for the printing of teacher and student materials. One of the strong benefits of that is as the program grows and our teachers grow and develop, we'll be able to refine the product to best suit the needs of our teachers and students over time as we progress through the adoption. So thank you very much for considering our resource.
Thank you. And we're pretty excited. In fact, if I had the space, I'd do round off back handsprings or something to show you how excited we are. I don't think I could. Dean's seen me do that before in the past. No. But we are so excited to be able to look at a new adoption for our secondary English language arts. As you know, there's rigorous standards for us to meet. And we're excited for this particular piece because we're going to be able to integrate this with our new technology that all of our teachers in secondary English language arts have been trained on through our technology department. So we appreciate their support in becoming Google certified for those teachers because this program will work hand in hand with that particular piece. And they're excited to have a digital resource that they can go to have some current material as well as some time-tested literature and pieces that they'll be able to explore and do some comparisons with. It is the committee, which they take this very seriously. In fact, they were so concerned that they had to make this decision for all of those secondary English language arts teachers out there, and they took this responsibility weighed heavily on their shoulders, so they were very careful in selecting the material they felt would best address the needs of teachers, but especially our students who are moving into the digital world and becoming literate in many different ways. It is aligned with the Utah Course Standards for English language arts, which is a critical component of any curriculum that we adopt. It has been proven effective to increase scores and help students be able to analyze text that is complex, determine evidence from that text, reason critically, and then also a part that they really liked is it addresses the speaking and listening standards, which are so critical today. And that has not been available as a part of their resources before, so they're excited about that. We did a survey last year of our secondary language arts teachers, and one of the pieces they really wanted help with was to do with their writing. And so this particular piece has great support in that area. That has the argumentative, the informative, and the narrative piece built into that. Through the Google Classroom, it's right in the program, so they can create assignments, they can link that to that, so students can work on that and be using their Chromebooks right in their classroom, but they can also download that material and use it at home or wherever they might be So it's a new kind of adoption for us to look at digital resources and have that access for our students. It has been field tested in many of our schools. They found it easy to use when you're moving teachers into that area. And these students, as we know, they're perfectly capable, but to combine that and make it easy for the teachers as well as the students, this particular program was able to do that. There's assessment tools built in so they can monitor and see how the students are doing and address the needs as they come up and make sure that their students are performing at the level that they would expect, at the rigor that we would want in our classrooms. And again, just like the other adoptions, we have professional development that will be ongoing and supportive of this program. So I like the statement that they had on their material. It said collections, which is what we've adopted, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt Collections. And it is for our 7th through 12th grade English language arts. They said collections provide students with the tools to succeed in the classroom and beyond. And that's what we're trying to do with our students, is help them be successful, not just in our classrooms, but in their future. The other piece that I worked with was with our English language learners. And that's an interesting group of needs that we need to look at when we're looking at that particular adoption. This again is for our secondary setting. And in our secondary setting, we do have students that come to us needing to learn English for the very first time. But we have many students who are almost proficient in English, and we need to address their needs as well. So we have this large diversity of needs. And so we are wanting to celebrate how lucky they are to have more than one language, first of all. That is such a celebration for these students that we have in our classrooms. So we looked at a curriculum that needed to be aligned with our language acquisition standards, and they're called WIDA. And this particular piece, it's called Pearson's ILIT ELL, is aligned with those standards, so that is great. We need to have reading, writing, speaking, and listening addressed. The students to become proficient, they may speak English quite well, but we're looking at academic achievement and making sure that we're addressing their needs that way as well. It's rigorous. It has challenging expectations, which is what we want in all of our classrooms, but we want the support there for them. Because it's digital, we're able to address students who are newcomers or students who just need that extra support, maybe in their writing or in their reading ability as well. It's going to help develop their academic language, which is so important for them to be successful in all content areas of the curriculum. And it's designed to differentiate for each of those different levels, but meet them where they're at. So we're excited to have this adoption that is aligned with the standards, that's rigorous, but also flexible for our students.
Thank you. Appreciate the information on those 3 different programs. Board, we're happy to address any questions that you may have and recommend that you approve the purchase of these 3 different programs. Thank you. Yes, Janice.
It's fun to see you so excited about them, so I'm very happy for you and for the teachers. I would be interested with the English language learning, not second English, second language, but what is the percentage of informational literature as opposed to narrative?
You know, it's interesting to look at what we have. It's about a 50-50 when you look at the material. They have anchor text, which would be like a literature piece, but then they can explore into the informational text as well. So they're looking at many diverse kinds of text in there. It's not just literature, and it's not just informational text. It's a combination. So they'll start with the narrative, or what we call an anchor text, and then be able to compare that and go deeper into some information using the informational text.
So on the average, you'd say 50-50?
It's pretty close, pretty close.
Thank you.
As I look at the information we have here, I see that grades 1 to 6 in the math part of it there are 681 teachers that need to have teacher edition books to work with. That's a lot of teachers, and that's just the elementary math. As I look at the teacher version, it's costing $50,900 just for the teacher's version. For the student version, $152,000, and for the complete manipulatives, $318,375. Can you take just a minute and tell us what some of the manipulatives might be that will be used in the classroom? Because when I took math, it was the chalkboard, and that was about it.
Right, right. So one thing that's important to note is the instructor materials, the teacher materials that will be purchased for the 680 plus teachers. Those will only need to be printed once, and those will include every piece of documentation that's available through the Engage New York program. So the student versions don't have all of that in it because a lot of it is specific to the teacher. So the manipulative kits include all kinds of counting chips, tiles, soma cubes, in little interlocking cubes. There's algebra tiles, there's these little cards that they use to learn different concepts. So the kit actually includes 37 different items. So each grade is a little bit different, but approximately 37 different pieces of materials for students to use. And each lesson is constructed around these unique tools. So they call them out specifically by name. And that will be part of Jennifer's training this summer to teach our teachers how to use all of those in instruction.
So this would actually be an application of the math.
Correct.
Instead of just saying this is how you do it, the manipulatives would show you how to do it and how to apply it later.
Exactly. So it fits that concrete pictorial representation, and then moving to the abstract. It doesn't take kids right to the algorithm and say, just plug and chug, right? Don't need to worry about where it came from. We're taking the totally different approach to it and showing kids exactly what this mathematics means, where it can be used in the real world. And then later on, when they become, they have a good concept of that, then we can give them the algorithm to speed the process up a little bit, but definitely not until they understand all of the background.
Thank you.
Board, any other questions? Do I have a motion to approve the math textbook? Pardon me. Approve the curriculum resource materials with as has been presented by Jane Ann. Do I have a motion? Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Dean, I hope we don't have to go back to how you and I learned math.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we will go to the secondary. Just a second. Did we cover? Yeah, we covered all. Okay. Yeah, we did that as a group. So. But before we go there, do we have a program yet? Okay. Turn the time now over to Scott Zelmer for the selection of architect for new elementary school.
Thank you, President Richardson. Superintendent Stevens with that. I've been practicing not to say Richards and say Richardson, so I got Stevenson. That was close. Board, we appreciate the chance to be here today. The Capital Improvement Committee, in preparation for future growth and the possibility of future bond issues, decided to take a look at what we might do as it relates to new elementary schools, looking at our needs out there. And so what we did was we had an RFP, request for proposals, that was sent out to all of our approved architects, and they were given a 30-day period to develop designs that they could share with us to represent how they might go about meeting some of our needs as it relates to elementary schools for future growth. They had 30 days to put their designs together, and then on the 26th of April, they were allowed to come in and make 45-minute presentations to us about their design and what they saw and what they thought would work for us. The committee actually had 5 architects show up. We have 7 that were approved. 2 decided not to make presentations, but Design West Architects, Naylor Wentworth Lund, NJRA, VCBO, and MHTN all made presentations to us, and it was an informative process for sure to see the things that are currently going on in the architectural world as it relates to public education and elementary schools especially. But based on those presentations, the committee met and unanimously looked those over and decided that we would like to recommend MHTN as the architect to develop our next elementary schools for future builds.
First, do we have a representative from MHTN here this evening?
They asked if they could tell them it's going to be too busy.
Okay, all right, thank you. Board, do I have a motion to approve the architect for new elementary schools as MHTN Architects?
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. We'll now turn the time over to Lane Finley to discuss the approval of a firm for surveying for our future bond.
Yeah, thank you, Board. In preparation for our bond initiative coming up, we looked around a little bit at possibly doing a survey, and we kind of weighed the option of doing one in-house or looking at an independent company and kind of seeing what other school districts have been doing over the past few years as far as their bonds. Most of them have gone with an independent firm. And so we sent out an RFP, and we had 2 companies respond from the Salt Lake area, Lighthouse and Y2 Analytics. They then came and presented to our committee as far as their services, and we would like to recommend to you that we use Y2 Analytics as our survey firm for the upcoming bond initiative. Any questions at all? Okay, great, thank you.
Board, do I have a motion to approve? And I did not get the name. It's
Y2 Analytics.
Y2 Analytics is very embedded in there. Funny name. Do I have a motion to approve Y2 Analytics as our survey firm for the upcoming bond? Have a motion. Moved and seconded at the same time. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Now we are to the time where we are all gathered together this evening for, it was the night before Christmas. Anyway, I first have to apologize to the district staff for making me sit in the corner. I didn't bring any dunce hats, but we appreciate you sitting in the corner anyway, so that these fine employees could participate in the highlights of this evening. So we'll turn the time over to Dr. Stevens.
Thank you, President. This is always an exciting time of the year, and yet one filled sometimes with mixed emotions, because many times these moves that we make administratively are initiated because of retirements. And I just want to take a moment and express appreciation to our retiring administrators. From the secondary level, Sue Sweet, Kurt Vandenbosch, and Jay Anderson, and from the elementary level, Shelley Roberts and Joel Fredrickson. Those 5 have given many, many years of service, both teaching and administration. They have had assignments around the entire district and had a tremendous impact on children, students, teachers, and parents, and we express our gratitude for their many years of service. Now, what I'd like to do is maybe handle this in 2 stages. The first stage, rather quickly, I'll move through and just talk about advancements, and then maybe have a formal approval of those advancements. Then we'll circle back and like to introduce the board to each of those people, let them come up and introduce their families and so forth. So the formal part of it, would like to recommend advancing from high school principal to human resources director, Dr. Rod Belknap. From junior high principal to high school principal, Michelle Perry. From high school assistant principal to junior high principal, Clyde Moore and Brett Craner. From junior high assistant principal to junior high principal, Heather Hardy. From junior high assistant principal to high school assistant principal, Rich Murray, Alicia Mitchell, and Rob Lake. From secondary intern to junior high assistant principal, Dawn Morse, Nicole Warren Doman, Jamie Ellis, and Ben Prawl. From elementary intern to elementary principal, Brent Hogan and John England. New secondary interns, Niels Hansen, Jake Schultz, Andrea Woodring, Quincy Pierce, and Tyler King. And new elementary interns, Shane Rasmussen and Christy Hancock. And would make a motion that those, or recommend that those be advanced to those positions.
Board, do I have a motion to approve the name so recommended by the superintendent for advancement?
So moved.
Any discussion? Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll turn the time back over to Dr. Stevens for
Great.
the introductions.
Thank you. For those who are here, those administrators who are here, we have a lot to go through. So as I read your name, I'd like to invite you to begin making your way up. I'll share with the audience a few things about you. And I'd ask that when you're here, maybe about 1 minute, introducing those who've come with you, and if you'd like to say something briefly. Last January, we promoted Kevin Cedarholm to assistant superintendent, but we did not replace him as human resources director because we knew that doing so in the middle of the year would have created a domino effect and had a negative impact on our schools in the middle of the year. So Kevin has been serving double duty during that period of time. But with Kevin's promotion, we had an opening in our human resources department, and we've recommended as the HR director, Dr. Rod Belknap. Rod, if you want to come up. Rod has his bachelor's degree from Weber State, master's from Utah State, his administrative certificate from Idaho State, and his PhD from the University of Utah. Rod has been in education for 22 years, all in Weber School District. He taught English and business marketing at Bonneville, where he also coached and was the DECA advisor. He was an intern administrator at Weber High, assistant principal at North Ogden Junior High, principal at Sandridge, and most recently and currently principal at Fremont High School. Rod is married to his wife Gina, and they have 4 children. Rod enjoys family, church, community activities, and time fishing, camping, and hunting.
Well, Superintendent Stevens, really appreciate this opportunity. Board President Richardson and all of the board, really excited for this opportunity. I've been fortunate to be a part of great teams throughout my life, and so many of the folks in this room have been a major part of that. Really appreciate Art and Bill and Kevin and so many others, Dr. Stevens, for their mentorship and work with me over the years. And I look forward to being a part of this team here at the district office. And just really grateful for this opportunity. Also for the last opportunity I had to be at Fremont High School. That's a great community and great faculty and staff, and I've been honored to serve in that capacity as principal there. Been very fortunate. I want to introduce my family, who means more to me than anything. Really, Gina, my wife, she's here. Thanks, Gina, for being here and for your love and support. Reagan, Grant, Judd and Brianne all have activities. There's Reagan. She's in first grade, and we love her a ton. And she likes us. That's really nice that she's here. And I also want to recognize my parents who instilled in me great work ethic and a belief in myself. Really glad to have them here, my mom Leanne and my dad Dennis. Really grateful for where I'm from. This is an awesome opportunity to be a part of this great district, and I look forward to serving as the Human Resources Director and doing my best in that capacity. So thank you, Board, and thank you for this opportunity.
That obviously creates an opening for the principal at Fremont High School, and we would like to recommend Michelle Perry. Michelle, come on up. Michelle has her bachelor's degree in English and Communications from Weber State, a master's in Measurement and Evaluation from Western Governors, and her administrative endorsement from Southern Utah. Michelle has been 26 years in education, 25 of those in Weber District. She taught English at Roy High, English and journalism at Fremont. Michelle has been an intern at Fremont, an assistant principal at South Ogden Junior High, and principal at South Ogden Junior High, where she currently serves. Michelle has 7 children and 12 grandchildren, and incredibly supportive parents. She enjoys spending time with family. Michelle.
Dr. Stevens and Board, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's very humbling to look around this room and think of all of you that have influenced me. I have great mentors here, and I won't start naming them all, but I appreciate all of you, and I'm excited to go back to Fremont. I'm thrilled for this opportunity. Thank you for that.
One thing I'll mention as we go through this, some of these moves are what we call lateral moves, and I'm not going to have those that are involved in a lateral move come forward because the board's already met them before as they were advanced. With Michelle's move to Fremont, that creates an opening for the principal at South Ogden Junior High, and we'd like to recommend Nicole Mivas. Is Nicole here tonight? Nicole. Might I also introduce to the audience this year's 2017 Huntsman Award for the Outstanding Junior High Principal in the state, Nicole Mivas. Mrs. Huntsman was here last week to present that recognition to Nicole out at Rocky Mountain Junior High School, and it's just very well deserving, and Nicole will do a great job at South Ogden Junior High School. That creates an opening for the principal at Rocky Mountain Junior High School, and we'd like to recommend Brett Craner. Brett, come on up. Brett has his bachelor's degree in physical education, a minor in mathematics from Weber State. He also attended Utah State and Dixie College. Brett has his master's in business administration from the University of Phoenix and his administrative endorsement from Southern Utah. Brett has been 21 years in education, all in Weber School District. He's had assignments as a math teacher at Walquist, administrative intern at South Junior High, assistant principal at Bonneville, and Walquist and Fremont. He's currently an assistant principal at Fremont. Brett is married to the former Marianne Hunt, a former student of mine, and enjoys being outdoors, farming, hunting, fishing, four-wheeling, camping, and spending time with family. Brett.
Superintendent, Board, I'm so humbled to be put in this position. I thank you very much for this opportunity. I look forward to going out to Rocky Mountain and following Nicole's footsteps. She's done such a great job out there and representing that community. I would like to thank, there's a lot of mentors in this building. Leslie Meyer also being one of those who is retired and and come back. And so nice to see her tonight. But I have a great opportunity to work with Dr. Belknap and all those others, Bill, Art, as my principal, Sue Sweet. Had some great mentors, and look forward to hopefully take what they have taught me and move forward at Rocky Mountain. And again, I just thank you for this opportunity, and especially want to thank my wife for putting up with me and supporting me in my calling.
That creates an opening for an assistant principal at Fremont High School. We'll recommend Rich Murray. Rich, come on up. Rich has his bachelor's, master's, and administrative license all earned from Southern Utah. Rich has been in education for 20 years, 12 of those in Weber District. Rich taught social studies in Cedar City before coming to Weber High School. He's been an administrative intern at Weber High School and currently is the assistant principal at South Ogden Junior High School. Rich has 3 children, and he enjoys spending time with family and reading.
Thanks, Superintendent. Thank you, Board. Thank you for putting me in this. I'm unbelievably excited to go to Fremont to stay with Michelle. I can't even explain it. I have my family here with me. My beautiful girlfriend, Ashley, my son, Bo, who is a conductor on the railroad, my daughter, Carly, who is at Orion, a 7th grader, and my son, Jake, who is graduating from Weber High School this year. So proud of these guys. Thank you. I look forward to the opportunity and the new adventure. Thank you.
That creates an opening for an assistant principal at South Ogden Junior High School, and we'll recommend that Quinn Talbot move to that position. Quinn currently is the assistant principal at Walquist Junior High School. Quinn, are you here? With Quinn's movement to South Ogden Junior High School, that creates an opening for an intern, an assistant, but in this case it will be an intern at Walquist Junior High School, and would like to recommend Quincy Pierce.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to recognize 3 of my 4 kids that are here tonight, Aiden, McKenna, and Finley. My oldest is at work. He's a junior at Weber High School. And my husband is on night shift, so Weber Basin water, you're drinking water tonight, provided by him. And my mom is here, Leslie Meyer, and my stepdad, Jeff Meyer, and I just am so excited to be at Walquist. Thank you.
Welcome back to 2 of our former high school principals, and Jeff does great work for us now with our School to Work. Let me just share a couple of things about Quincy. She has her bachelor's degree in biology and secondary teaching from Weber State, a master's degree in ed leadership from American College of Education, 15 years in education, 12 of those in Weber School District. Quincy has taught biology and coached various sports at Fremont. She taught life science in Australia for a period of time and came back and taught science at Walquist, medical forensics at Weber High. She's married, as she mentioned, to Aaron Pierce. They have 4 children and enjoy outdoor sports, gardening, fine arts, and weightlifting, I think, as well. Is that correct? Great. With the retirement of Sue Sweet, that creates an opening for principal at Walquist, and we would recommend Scott Elliott. Is Scott here tonight? Scott currently is the principal at Sandridge Junior High School, does a wonderful job, and Scott will look forward to that move to Walquist. That creates an opening for the position of principal at Sandridge Junior High, and we recommend Clyde Moore. Clyde, come on up. Clyde has his bachelor's degree from William Carey University in Mississippi, a master's degree in educational counseling from the University of Phoenix, and his administrative certificate from Utah State. Clyde taught and coached in George County, Mississippi for 6 years, and then he was a teacher and coach in Ogden District for 15 years, an administrator in Ogden District for 7 years. He's been an administrator at Roy High School for the past 3 years, so 31 years total in education. Clyde is married to his wife, Carrie. They have one granddaughter. They enjoy time with family, basketball, and golf. And as a district, we're so fortunate to have Clyde. He has had a remarkable influence already in our district. Clyde?
Thank you, Superintendent Stevens and the board. Appreciate this opportunity. I also like to thank those that I've worked with so far that have been in this district. I've worked with some great principals that mentored me very well and had great support from the district office. I want to thank them. I want to recognize my wife, Carrie, who's here with me tonight. Our daughter, who gave us our first, her and her husband gave us our first granddaughter this year, is not here. She's 8 months, and I didn't think she was set through this. It might have been a little loud in here. And my son, of course, was at work, so he couldn't be here tonight. But I just want to thank the board and the superintendent for this opportunity to be in the best district in the state. Like Superintendent Stevens said, I worked in several districts, excuse me, and I can tell you by far this is the best district around, putting students first, employees, and great support, whenever you need that. So I want to thank Superintendent Stevens and the board for this opportunity. I look forward to going to Sand Ridge. I'm excited to stay in the Roy Cone and the Roy community and keep the Roy project going. They're doing some great things for students there, and I'm excited to be a part of that and to support kids going up to the high school, been on track for graduation, and making sure our good work keep going. Thank you.
That creates an opening for the position of assistant principal at Roy High, and we recommend Alicia Mitchell. Alicia, are you here? Alicia has her bachelor's degree in secondary education with an emphasis in English from UNLV. She also has her master's of administration from Southern Utah. Alicia has been in education for 11 years, 8 of those in Weber School District. She taught English at Coronado High School in Las Vegas and at Fremont High School. She's been an intern administrator at Roy High and assistant principal currently at T.H. Bell Junior High. Alicia is married to Brock, who is also an assistant principal at Bonneville, and they have one daughter. They enjoy camping and spending time together at the family cabin in Bear Lake. Alicia?
Superintendent Stevens and the board, I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. I have loved my experience at T.H. Bell with the Minutemen. I had Wendy Long tell me when I went there that I would fall in love with them, and I did. But I am so thrilled to return to Roy High. Words can't express how excited I am to go back to Roy. They have always held a small chunk of my heart, so I can't wait to get there. And I am just so grateful. So thank you so much. I want to tell my husband and my daughter thank you for dealing with this crazy lady that they live with. And I really appreciate you guys. So thank you so much.
That creates an opening for the position of assistant principal at T.H. Bell, and we'll recommend Nicole Warren Dolman. Come on up, Nicole. Nicole has her bachelor's degree in child and family studies from Weber State, teaching degrees in special education from Utah State, a master's degree in educational leadership with an administrative endorsement. Nicole has been in education for 16 years. Nicole started working as a teacher's assistant at Summit View, which is our alternative junior high school. She's also been a special education teacher at Orion and Roy High. This year, we asked Nicole to kind of pioneer a new internship, which was kind of sharing Canyon View and Two Rivers. And we knew that we were looking for a unique talent, and Nicole filled our every wish, has just done a remarkable job. Nicole and her husband have 3 children. She enjoys trail running and can be found in the mountains most weekends.
Thank you, Superintendent Stevens and the board. I just wanted to say that I'm really grateful for the experience of being an intern in both locations, double the learning and double the fun. And I just wanted to say thank you to the principals that I worked with, Jennifer Warren and Jeffrey Marchant. Both were amazing and both were patient with me as I learned the ropes in both places. And I just want to say I'm really excited to be out at TH Bell. I admire Alicia Mitchell more than I can say, and I know I have really big shoes to fill, so I'm very excited for this opportunity. Thank you.
That creates an opening for this internship that I just described at Canyon View and Two Rivers, and we recommend Andrea Woodring. Andrea, come on up. Andrea has her bachelor's degree in elementary education from Weber State, her master's of science in educational leadership, master of education in curriculum design, library media K-12 endorsement from Utah State, an ELL endorsement from Western Governors, a graduate certificate in implementing technology in K-12 classrooms. She is well certified. That's a list. 19 years in education, 9 in Weber School District. She taught elementary and junior high in Granite School District before moving to Orion Junior High and Bonneville High School. She's also served as our PM school coordinator at Two Rivers. In 2008, Andrea was selected by the state of Utah as the Utah School Librarian of the Year. Andrea enjoys reading, travel, loves New York, the Yankees, and spending time with family and friends.
Thank you, Superintendent Stevens. I am honored and humbled, like so many have said, and I have been very blessed in my life to work with wonderful administrators, starting in Weber School District with Art, and then Ray, and I know I'm going to forget everybody, but Wendy and Kurt and Larry and Brock and Alicia, everyone, I thank you. And Jamie, thank you. And I'm honored. Thanks.
With the retirement of Kurt Vandenbosch, that creates an opening for a principal at Snowcrest, and we'd like to recommend Heather Hardy. Heather has her Bachelor's of Science in Social Work from Weber State, a Master's of Arts in Educational Counseling from the University of Phoenix, and her administrative endorsement from Southern Utah. Heather has been in education for 13 years, all in Weber School District. Her other assignments have included teaching at Canyon View, District Office Special Education Coordinator, Administrative Intern at Fremont, Assistant Principal currently at Roy Junior High School, where she's done an outstanding job. Heather has been married for 18 years, and they have 2 daughters.
Thank you so much, Superintendent and Board, for this opportunity. I'm in the doghouse from last time because I forgot to introduce my family. So I'm going to do that first. My daughter hasn't let me down from the last time, but shaking her head over there. But my cute daughters are here, Hayden and Taylor, and my parents, Craig and Pam Haney. And my husband couldn't be here. He's with his mom who had a medical procedure today. But I just want to say I'm so excited for this opportunity to be at Snowcrest. It's been an amazing journey so far in Weber School District. And I'd like to thank Matt Williams and Kurt and Rod for all your leadership throughout these past few years, and Bill and Art. I'm still in shock, but thank you so much.
That creates an opening for an assistant principal at Roy Junior High School. We'll recommend Christy Hawes. Is Christy here tonight? Christy currently is the assistant principal at Orion, and that's a lateral move. We look forward to Christy's work at Roy Junior High. That creates an opening for an assistant principal at Orion Junior High, and we'll recommend Ben Prawl. Ben, come on up. Ben has his bachelor's degree in psychology from Weber State, his Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction from Weber State, as administrative license from Western Governors. Ben has been 9 years in education, 3 of those in Weber School District. Ben taught science and chemistry and was science curriculum supervisor in the Davis School District. He came over to Weber School District where he taught chemistry at Bonneville and was just a remarkable chemistry teacher. He's been an administrative intern at Roy High. Ben and his wife Christy have been married for 11 years. They have 3 children. Ben enjoys canyoneering, mountain biking, and climbing.
Thank you, Superintendent Stevens and School Board, for this opportunity. I'd like to excuse my wife tonight like she has so many times this year. She's wrestling 3 kids to put them to bed probably about now. But her support has been incredible, and I wouldn't be able to do the things that I've done this year without her support. I also like to appreciate Principal Kurt Swalberg and the great mentorship that he's given me this past year and patience as I've learned and grown. And I'm super excited to learn from another great administrator, and Chris Ernest. I've worked with her at Bonneville, and just super excited to be with her and to serve the students and the faculty and the community of Orion Junior High School.
Thanks, Ben. That creates an opening for an intern at Roy High, and we recommend Tyler King. Tyler, come on up. Tyler has his bachelor's degree in English and Spanish education from Utah State, his master's in educational leadership from Utah State. Tyler has had 13 years in education, the last 8 of those years at Roy Junior High School. Tyler is married to his wife Amanda for 12 years. They have 4 children. They enjoy attending Utah State athletic events, and they're big fans of Disneyland, Claire. He served in the Army National Guard, including a year of service in Iraq. Thank you, Tyler, for that.
Well, thank you, Superintendent Stevens and Board. Excited to meet you guys and work with you a little bit more in the future, and really excited for this opportunity. I do just want to recognize my wonderful wife, Amanda. Amazing support to me throughout everything we've done in our lives. And my children, Emery, Ava, Newell, and Jonas. I have my parents here, Ted and Cindy. My father-in-law, Dan, is also here. Great support system. And, I've been blessed to learn from so many great administrators so far through my time in Weber District. I'm really excited coming from Roy Junior to be able to go to Roy High School, see some of those kids that I taught and interact with them again, and be reunited with Kurt Swalberg, who I enjoyed working with at Roy Junior as well. And Art, Bill, thanks for the opportunity. I'm excited and nervous and everything else. Let's go.
Tyler is a great English teacher, and I've always loved being in his classroom. With the retirement of Jay Anderson, that creates an opening for assistant principal at Bonneville, and we'll recommend Terry Spires. Terry currently is an assistant principal at Weber High School. Is Terry here tonight? That creates an opening for an assistant principal at Weber High School, and we'll recommend Darlene San Giorgio. Darlene currently is an assistant principal at Roy High School. Is Darlene here tonight? This creates an opening for an assistant principal at Roy High School, and we'll recommend Rob Lake. Rob, come on up. Rob has his Bachelor of Arts degree in Spanish and a Master of Arts in teaching from Oregon State University. His administrative certificate is from Utah State. Rob has been in education for 17 years, all in Weber School District. He's been a teacher at South Ogden Junior High School, an intern at Roy High, and currently is an assistant principal at Rocky Mountain Junior High. Rob is married to his wife Kimberly for the past 21 years, and they have 4 children.
Superintendency and board, thank you for this opportunity. Like Alicia, I'm excited to go back to Roy as well. That's where I did my internship, and I too also have a special place in my heart for Roy High. I'd like to thank Art and Bill for their mentorship, and Gina Butters, also Nicole Mivas for the last 4 years at Rocky Mountain. I want to thank my wife Kim for her unwavering support, and my kids Cambry, Parker, McKenna, and Kale are all here. Also like to thank my my mother-in-law, who not many people know this, but John England and I are brother-in-laws. We share a mother-in-law. She's here to support me, not him. And, and when I walked in, I saw Tyra Coates, and this is what we do. Hey, we try to make an impact on kids' lives, and she's here to support me too. But no, So congratulations to her mom for her award. I'm excited to go back to Roy, and thank you for the opportunity.
That creates an opening for assistant principal at Rocky Mountain Junior High, and we recommend Jamie Ellis. Jamie, come on up. We recognize Jamie's mom here, Jan, a former administrator and teacher in Weber District, and Dave from the other district just to the south of us. Jamie has her master's degree from Oregon State, administrative credentials from University of Phoenix. Jamie has been 16 years in education, the last 3 of those in Weber School District. Jamie taught English and dance. She's taught at Roy High and also been the administrative intern at Roy High and Bonneville High School. Currently, she's the intern at Bonneville High School. Jamie has 2 children. They enjoy traveling with family, spending time in the garden, and fly fishing.
Yeah, I'm going to teach my kids to fly fish this summer. That's my goal. So I want to thank you, Superintendent and Board, for this incredible opportunity and advancement. I came from Davis District, and I have loved every second of being here. Every day I'm the fortunate one to be here. So I have to start by thanking my mentors, Gina, right there, and Larry for 2 incredible years. Their drive and commitment to what they're doing as a school has really inspired me as an administrator. Art and Bill, thank you so much for this as well. So I'm looking forward to working with Brett at Rocky Mountain Junior. And like you said, I'm here with my mom and dad and my 2 kids back there, Mia and Gavin, and my incredible husband, Tim. So thank you.
That creates an opening for an intern at Bonneville, and we'd like to recommend Jake Schultz. Jake, come on up. Jake has his bachelor's degree from Weber State, a Master of Education and Administration from Southern Utah. Jake has been 8 years in the Weber School District. He's taught PE and Spanish at both Roy High and Weber High. Also coached girls soccer, track, and football. Jake is married to Tiffany, who's one of our outstanding teachers at Fremont High School. Jake and Tiffany have 4 children, and they enjoy family vacations and watching their children participate in numerous activities.
Thanks, Dr. Stevens, Board. I thank you for this opportunity. Larry, I appreciate this. You don't know how much this means to me. I have a big piece of my heart at Roy High. I attended Roy High, and I've been there for 7 years. And I'm going to need some time with this for a little bit. So I appreciate that. I'm excited to work with Larry.
Keep it on. It looks good.
My wife is pretty excited about it too. She is a Laker. My mother was a Laker. My wife's a Laker. So it's not going to take long. I want to thank my wife, who is a big support, and my partner. It's a great life. We have a good time. We have our 4 kids, and we have a great time together. I also want to thank Billy and Art for this opportunity and for their mentorship. Gina has been great. She hired me at Roy High, and it was a great run. I'm pretty excited, a little nervous, like Tyler, but I'm really excited to be at Bonneville. So thank you.
Many years ago, when I was an administrator at South Ogden Junior High School, we tried to hire Jake, and he made a decision to pursue a different career path for a period of time. And we're grateful, Jake, that you've come back into education, and he's done a great job everywhere he served. We have an opening for an assistant principal at North Ogden Junior High School, and we recommend Don Morse. Don, come on up. Don has his bachelor's degree from Weber State, his master's in education from Western Governors. Don has been in education for 12 years, all in Weber School District. He taught Spanish and coached volleyball at Sandridge and Walquist. He's married to the former Nikki Panter, also a former student. He enjoys all kinds of sports, camping, fishing, and spending time with family and friends. Don.
Superintendent, Board, Art, Bill, just want to express my gratitude for your confidence and trust in this position. Look forward. I can't wait to get back to the junior high. There's something about those kids that is just quirky and fun that I really enjoy. To borrow a kid phrase, I'm super stoked to work with Wendy. This is going to be great. Recognize my wife, Nikki. Our 3 kids had athletic commitments, couldn't be here tonight. Plus, they get bored out of their minds. So anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate this.
That creates an opening for an intern at Fremont High School. We recommend Niels Hansen. Niels, come on up. Niels has his Bachelor of Science in Music Education from Weber State, his Master's of Education and Administrative Endorsement from Utah State. Niels has been in education for 13 years, all in Weber School District. 1 year at T.H. Bell and 12 years at South Ogden Junior. Niels is a remarkable band teacher. He's been a director of band, orchestra, and a guitar teacher. He's married to his wife, Tara. They have 3 children, including a set of twins. Niels plays in a few local groups on saxophone and likes to watch basketball movies and spend time with his kids. And he also teaches private saxophone lessons.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Board. My family is everything to me. My wife, Tara, is very supportive, and we like to bore our kids, so they're here. But Gage, and then the twins, Carter and Jenna. And you guys are happy to be here, though. Yeah. It's hard to leave South. It's hard to leave teaching music. But I can't think of a better way to go with Michelle and Rich. I've already learned a lot from them, and I can't believe we're going to be together out at Fremont. So I'm really excited about that opportunity. I just want to thank you again for the opportunity, and thank you.
With the retirement of Shelley Roberts at Roy Elementary School, we have an opening for principal there, and we recommend Brent Hogan. Brent, come on up. Brent attended Dixie State College in Utah Valley, participating in both football and track there. Brent has his bachelor's degree from Idaho State in PE, elementary education degree from Southern Utah. He earned his Master's of Administration and also a math endorsement. Brent has spent a total of 12 years in education. He taught 3rd and 4th grade and was the Title I site coordinator in Washington County. He taught 5th grade at Freedom Elementary, and he's been an elementary intern at Birch Creek, and now currently has been the acting principal at Municipal Elementary. Brent's wife, Tiffany, is the reason they came up to Northern Utah. Tiffany was hired in the track program to help coach track at Weber State. She's the women's track coach at Weber State, and we're grateful that she brought Brent into our district. He's been a great strength. Tiffany and Brent have 3 children. They enjoy riding 4-wheelers, camping, and playing sports. Brent.
Thank you, Superintendent and Board. Thank you for this opportunity. Cammie, Carla, thank you. Cammie hired me when we first moved up here, and so that was nice. Diane's outside the door. She was great to work with her at Freedom for a year. Working with Rick was a great opportunity at Birch, and then unfortunately Joel Frederickson got sick and needed some time off, but gave me an opportunity to go there and be the acting principal, and learned a ton and worked with some really great people there. Today was a good and bad day. I announced to them that I'd be going to Roy, and it was good. Shelley is a very small woman, but I have big shoes to fill. there at Roy Elementary, and I am so grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful for my family to be here. Pulled my wife away from getting ready there, doing an awards ceremony, and getting ready for a track meet there at Weber, and I'm grateful for her. And my mom's here from Southern Utah. She drove up to be here for this, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. So thank you very much.
Board, as Brent mentioned, Joel Fredrickson is not only retiring this year, but several months ago he went on medical leave. Joel has struggled with his health. Most recently went through 5 bypass surgery. He stopped by the district office last week. He looks good. He's on the heel, we believe, and our prayers and love are with Joel for his years of service. That creates an opening for principal at Municipal, and we recommend Kevin Chase. Is Kevin here tonight? Kevin currently is the principal at Lowman View Elementary School, so that's a lateral move. That creates an opening for principal at Lowman View, and we recommend Justin Skeen. Justin currently is the principal at Roosevelt Elementary. Is Justin here tonight? Justin, thank you for the work that you've done at Roosevelt, and we look forward to your leadership at Lowman View. That creates an opening for principal at Roosevelt, and we recommend Kitty Barney. Is Kitty here tonight? Kitty currently is the principal at Bates Elementary School, and that creates an opening for principal at Bates, and we recommend Laura Wright. Laura has been the principal at Far West, where she currently serves, and we look forward to her. Laura taught many years at Bates Elementary, so this is kind of going home for Laura. That creates an opening for principal at Far West, and we recommend Dave Hells. Is Dave here tonight? Dave currently is the principal at Valley Elementary, where he just does an outstanding job. That creates an opening for principal at Valley, and we recommend John England. John, come on up. John has his bachelor's degree in elementary education and endorsement in early childhood education from the University of Utah. His master's degree in educational leadership is from Western Governors. John has spent 9 years in education, all in the Weber School District. He taught 5th and 6th grade at both Lakeview and Roy Elementary Schools. He's been an elementary intern at Club Heights, Valley, and currently is the intern at Uinta. So he's very familiar with that community and that school and that faculty. John and his wife have been married for 13 years. They have 5 children. They enjoy spending time together as a family and working in the yard and gardening.
Thank you, Board and Superintendent Stevens. I brought with me my wife to support me, as well as my mother-in-law, and Rob mentioned that she's here to support him, but she drove here with us. So, but I want to thank all the mentors that I've had. Cami and Carla have been great mentors for me as I've gone on this journey, as well as the principals I've worked with, Rick and Dave and Joanne at Uinta, as well as the principals I've worked for in elementary schools, Shirley and Cami as well, and Shelley out at Roy. I am excited to be up at Valley Elementary, and as my friend Margaret at the front desk likes to say, it's God's country, and I'm glad to be going back there.
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you. We have need for 2 new elementary interns, and would like to recommend first Shane Rasmussen, if you'd like to come up. Shane has his bachelor's degree from Weber State University, secondary and elementary teaching license, his master's of administration and supervision through the University of Phoenix. I know that Shane has also done some teaching for us in the adult ed program. He's been in education for 9 years, all in Weber School District. He's taught at Roosevelt, Majestic, and currently at Plain City Elementary School. Shane and his wife have 5 children. They love to hunt and spend time with his family in the great outdoors.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens, and thanks to the board. I appreciate this opportunity, so thanks a ton. Also, thanks to Cami Alexander and Carla Porter. Also, a big thanks to my mom and dad, Dale Rasmussen and Lori Rasmussen. Thanks for always being there. Big thanks to my wife, Jackie. She's in the back. Thanks, Jackie. We didn't bring all the kids. Wanted to spare you guys the chaos. Also, this is kind of funny, but when you're little, your parents probably told you the same thing. Find something you love to do and you'll never have to work a day in your life. My parents told me that, and I was thinking, well, be an NFL player. That didn't work out. But anyways, I became a teacher. Teaching kind of found me. I never wanted to be a teacher when I was younger. And it just kind of happened. And I've loved every day, every single day of it. I never feel like I have to go to work. And I will miss it a ton. But I know that I'll love this new job, and I look forward to it. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity. Thanks, guys.
Shane, you can visit with Alicia's husband on the NFL career part.
And he's a teacher now.
And he worked his way through that and is back teaching. Christy, come on up. Christy has her bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Maryland, University College, Europe. She has a master's of psychology from Utah State, a master of education from Southern Utah, and her professional school counseling license and administrative endorsement. Christy has spent 22 years in education, 10 of those in Weber School District. Her career includes special education in a Department of Defense school in Aviano, Italy. Also a counselor in a residential treatment facility in Spokane, Washington. YMCA program at Sandridge Junior High and Washington Terrace Elementary. She's been a school counselor at Country View, Plain City, North Ogden Elementary, Weber Online High School. Currently, Christy is the counselor at our program. Christy has 2 sons. They enjoy time outdoors, snowboarding, boating, wakeboarding, hiking, biking, paddleboarding, cooking, summer concerts, and travel.
Thank you. Thank you, board. Thank you, Dr. Stevens. One correction on that, not 22 years in education. I think I overlapped some of those. I've had about 14 years, but some of those were overlapping, and so when it got added up, it must have added to 22. I was like, wow.
Does that work on the salary schedule?
Like,
you can get that on the salary schedule.
Yeah, we should take care of that. So thank you again. I'm so excited, so overwhelmed, just really appreciative to all of you. Obviously to Carla and Cami. I'm so excited to get to work with Carla again. We got to spend time together at Plain City, and I've missed her, and so it's great. Thank you to Gina and all of my Weber Innovation people, Nick, Ray, Jeff, everyone. I'm so grateful to all of you. This even goes back to high school. Clyde Moore was my basketball coach in high school, so I even have education mentors way back when. So it's fun to be here with them. Today I have my boyfriend, Matt, who is actually working and taking a break, so I appreciate him coming here. By morning, he teaches law enforcement at Weber Innovation High School as well, so some of you might know him. And then my sons, Daxton and Dominic. Daxton goes to Plain City, Dominic's at Wellquist, and my parents, Rick and Dana Hines, who have always been amazingly supportive. So I'm glad to have them here with me tonight. Thank you.
Board, as you can see, we have a rich pool of talent in Weber School District. And while it's always difficult to lose great people to retirement, it seems that we always have a remarkable number of people so prepared and ready to step into leadership roles. We look forward to working with this group of administrators. Thank you.
Superintendent, thank you. Appreciate each of you being with us tonight and your families. And
I would wish you good luck in your new assignments, but luck has nothing to do with it. You're all very well prepared to do what you do and do it in the best district in the state. Someone tonight said that they like to come to work because they have fun, they enjoy it, they enjoy working, and life is way too short not to enjoy what you're doing. So with that, board, is there anything else that needs to come before the board this evening? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved, seconded. Any discussion? Oh, you got moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Again, thank each and every one of you for being with us this evening.